What if networking wasn't awkward? What if it wasn't draining or something you dread? What if networking was actually the best part of your week? I know that sounds a little ridiculous, especially if you're introverted or if your past experiences with networking felt a little fake or forced. But hear me out on this. Problem isn't you, and the problem isn't networking. The problem is the version of networking that we've been sold. You know the one. It's like crowded events, name tags, people pretending to be interested, looking for somebody more important. No wonder it feels exhausting. I mean, I've gone to a few networking events recently where they were good, don't get me wrong, and they were events that I knew people were going to be there, that I knew, and I was going to talk to people, and I was probably going to make some new connections. But coming off of those events, I was really exhausted. My energy level was way down. It took me a day or so to really kind of feel like I wanted to be around people again. And I think that happens to a lot of people. And that feeling you get after those networking events is that feeling that stays with you. That feeling of, I worked hard, I did a lot, I'm not sure what I got out of it, is what we remember about networking and why we don't want to do it anymore. But that's not really real networking, right? I mean, it is according to the traditional definition of networking and what we've been told networking is. So we've been told you have to figure out what event you want to go to. You got to sign up for that event. You maybe should try to meet people in advance so that you know they're going to be there. You should go to the event. You've got to kind of have your elevator pitch ready. You've got to walk around and kind of find people to talk to. And then you've got to talk to them. You got to make small talk. You got to try to make a connection. You got to then have them give you their information or you give them your information. And then you do it a bunch of times and then you go home and you've got to follow up with those people. That sounds like a lot of steps, right? I mean, that sounds like a lot of work. And when things are hard and there's a lot of work involved, there's stuff we don't really want to do, especially if it really made us feel tired after we did it. So real networking, when you break it down, what networking is a conversation, a connection, a moment of mutual support or shared interest, right? It could be taking a walk with somebody that you respect and want to get to know better. It could be sending a message to a former coworker, just kind of checking in. It could be setting up a Zoom conversation with maybe somebody you connected with on LinkedIn, and now you want to get to know them a little bit better. It's just a conversation, right? We should just call it conversing instead of networking, because it really is conversing in a way where you get to know other people and they to know you, and you start to, because you know each other, trust each other a little bit. You start to develop a bit of a relationship at some level, and you start to figure out if this is somebody that you can help or who will want to help you. And that's really all it is. So this idea that the reason why we go to events is just because we think we can have a lot of conversations, right? So let's think about the idea of an event. The idea is a numbers game at an event, or there's quantity, or it's sort of there's lots of targets in a single space that you can talk to and have a bunch of conversations all at once. It's sort of like speed dating. And I mean, I know there's speed networking out there, and if that's your thing, great. If you love it, and by the way, if you love events, do it. Lots of people love them. I have connections. I know people that teach you how to go to events and be effective, and they love that. That's their thing. That's their game. It's their jam. They love the vibe of going to an event. That's not me. I will go, but it's not me. And I think there's a lot of people out there that feel the same way, and they feel like because they don't love it and they don't love going and talking to all these people, that they can't network. But what if there was a way to network that really felt fun? Because when I connect with people, when I have a conversation with people, it's fun. I have fun getting to know other people. I have fun asking them questions about themselves. I have fun talking to them. I have fun learning how I can help them. And when I do help them, I really have fun because I love being able to say like, hey, you were looking for this. I know somebody, let me connect you with that person. And then they go off and do great things. And I'm like, wow, I made that connection. That makes me feel good. It's fun. It's fun to be that person that makes the connections. So what you have to do is figure out how to do networking in a way that's fun for you and something you look forward to. Because a lot of times I look at my calendar, like, who am I talking to this week? And I'll see somebody, I'm like, oh, this is going to be fun. I can't wait to talk to the person. A lot of times I'm doing that from this office. Like, I take a lot of calls in this space you see right here. I get on my video call on my Zoom or whatever, and we just talk. And we talk about what people are working on. We talk about what I'm working on. We get to know each other. We share stories, swap stuff like that. And then we've got that connection. So that to me is how I like to do it. I do it on my schedule, right? Because I don't have to wait for a networking event. I can set up calls whenever it's convenient for the other person. I mean, yeah, sometimes I have to flex around their schedule, but for the most part, I can say, here's my calendar. If it's open, you can schedule it. And I do my call from my house, right? So it's in my space. I don't have to go somewhere. Now, sometimes I will. Sometimes people will say, hey, let's have coffee, and they live in the same city as I do. And so we get together and we have coffee. That's fine. I'll do that. I like that too. That's fun for me as well, getting together with people I know. And kind of, so on my schedule, in my space, and like in my own style, right? So my style is to do this one-on-one. My style is not to go to a bunch of big events where there's a lot of people and I've got to talk to many people. I want to have a conversation one-on-one. That's my style. Again, your style might be, I love to talk to 10 different people, and that's fine. If that's your style, that's your style. Go with it, right? But again, most of the people who don't like networking don't like it because they think, I'm going to have to go to this room full of people and have a bunch of conversations and say the same thing over and over and maybe make a connection. I don't want to do it. So when you figure out the way it's going to work for you best, when you think about what's the ideal schedule for me to do this, is it in the mornings? Is it the afternoons? Is it on the weekends? Is it, anytime during the day, or is it certain days of the week? Where do I want to do this? Do I want to do this in my house? Do I want to go to coffee shops? Do I want to be going to big event centers? But usually it's kind of like wherever you want to do it on your terms. And then how do you like to do it? Figure those things out. And when you can customize, I would say, your networking environment, all those things, when you can have control over those things, then it's not something you dread. Then it's not something you're doing because you feel like you have to do it. It's something you're looking forward to. You're excited about it and you're in control of it. You feel better about it because you've started to learn how to control all these things. So when you start doing it in those ways, it becomes something you start to look forward to. And you might be sitting there thinking about, yeah, but I don't know. Do I really want to do that? Why do I need to network? I mean, I think it comes down to, we as humans, we need human connection. And you might be sitting there saying to me, Greg, I've got family, I got friends, I got all the human connection I need. Good for you. Great. Perfect. At some point, if you have a career or a business or something like that, you're going to have to talk to some other people in order for that business to continue on and grow. Now, maybe there's somebody out there that's like, I do a certain side of business, I don't have to talk to anybody. Well, congratulations. Good for you. I would contend that you probably still need additional human connection. We all need human connection. We need people to talk to. We need people to vent to. We need people to cry with. We need people to bring us their problems. We need people to help. We as species evolved because we're social animals. And we can't just say, like, I don't need connection. I don't need people. I don't want to be around people. I mean, you can say that. You're probably not going to be very happy. And I would think that most of the people watching this or interested are doing it because they want to have some more connection in their life. And maybe it's professional connection. Because again, we're talking about professional connections here. I'm not talking about going out and finding your new BFF for the rest of your life. What I'm talking about is finding professional connections who you can help, who you can give your expertise and your advice and your guidance to, and who also might do the same thing for you. So instead of thinking, oh, I got to do some networking this week, what I really want you to do is figure out a way that you could find somebody who you actually want to talk to. So ask yourself this question: who's someone I really want to talk to? This could be a coworker you've lost touch with over time. It could be a friend of yours you've lost touch with. It could be somebody who you kind of know, but you haven't really been introduced to yet, but you'd really love to know more about what they do. They seem like an interesting person, and figure out who that person is. And then start there. And with that one person, try to have one conversation. And there's no pressure. There's no you asking them for something. There's no you doing anything for them. It's just a conversation. It doesn't have to be performative. It's just a real moment of connection. And when you do that and you kind of open yourself up to what might happen in that conversation and what might happen with that conversation, that connection, it might be the best part of your week. You might walk away from it and say, that was a lot of fun. I really feel better about that. I don't feel drained coming out of that conversation. I actually feel recharged and I feel energized and I'm ready to tackle the rest of my week. And give it a shot. Like, go out there, find one person, have that conversation, and then let me know how it goes, right? I talk about networking every single week. I talk about it on LinkedIn every weekday. I post, my thoughts on it. I am also on Substack. My newsletter's out there. I've also got additional posts out there and notes. So if you don't subscribe to the newsletter, go out there, subscribe to the Introverted Networker newsletter, follow me on Substack, see some of the other stuff that I'm doing there, really kind of starting to grow my ideas on that platform. Or watch more of these videos. I got a bunch of videos. I got a whole YouTube channel of advice on networking. This is a thing that I have really embraced as the topic I can talk about all day. And I really want to change the way the world feels about networking, because I think most people don't enjoy it. They dread it. And I think there's a pretty simple way to change that. It's a way to change your mindset and your focus. I think you can do it and make networking feel great. So go out, find that one person this week, have that conversation, see how it feels. Let me know how it goes. And if it doesn't go well, let me know. We can troubleshoot it. If it goes great, let me know you had a great time. I'd love to hear your success stories. So go out this week, meet somebody new, meet somebody interesting. Remember, always be connecting.